foam on top.
I was gonna say, wasn't there some kind of like world championships or tournaments for that at one point? I feel
No,
like
I do
there
not doubt
was
it.
because I could have sworn I remember seeing that, and I'm like, what in the fuck? I was equally confused because I remember hearing that. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Dude, people, there's like tech deck channels. Oh, damn it. Hey,
Huh.
Steve, do I know the password for Twitch? Does it
I
start
think
with a
so.
capital B and have a misspelled word in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
For what?
Oh, I've rebooted my computer. I can't log in. I was going
Oh.
to pull chat up.
Well,
Here.
what? You can pull chat up on your own Twitch. If you pull chat up on the Twitch, then you're gonna kick me.
Weren't we both talking in it? Like, I've been logged in on that Twitch account for weeks.
Oh, were we? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll log in on mine. You fucking hate me.
I do. That's totally it. And we could just troll chat if we both log in with the same one.
Like, we have enough problems with that on Twitter.
Not really anymore. Because neither of us are super active anymore. Bless you.
Here's another question. What am I supposed to do with these stickers?
I can't see that. Put them on something.
Here's for reference. That's how big they are.
Well, they're probably like equivalent size to the same ones you would get in real life with a skateboard.
Where you'd put it on the bottom of the board. I was thinking about taking a razor blade and cutting the grip tape, cut a little strip out, put it on there. I used to do that. Also, do skateboards have a nose and a tail? Like, okay, let me take that back. Are the nose and tail different at all?
I think it depends on the board. And I'm not talking about like those 80s ones. I think there are some boards
I know
that
what you
are
mean.
like...
If you were, I'd be like, fuck you, Scott.
No, I mean, similar to like snowboards.
Hey, Phoenix. One is tall. One is more of an aggressive angle than the other, probably.
Yeah, it depends on... Yeah, it definitely depends on the board and stuff like that. I know with snowboards, it's similar. If it's a true twin tip, it's a real bastard to ride. So they usually... They've gotten better in recent years. I'm not really 100% sure. I'm like my snowboard is more of a twin tip than my previous one was. So I could ride switch if I wanted to, or if I was good enough to ride down the mountain switch, I could do that. But I'm not 100% sure if skateboards... I know skateboards, it's not as obvious. Which one's the front, which one's the back? Like nose and tail wise?
If at all, it's different. It might not be different.
Fucking, is this Kalimasi or Kalimasi?
Kalimasi.
Kalimasi?
Yeah. I watched the audio tree earlier.
Oh.
They're good. You're gonna really like them, Ben.
I just listened to it.
Oh.
Sorry, guys. I'll be ready to go here in 3 minutes.
Oh, take your time.
I was fucking so tired today. I had to probably like 4 times today because I stayed up so late. I had to get up from my desk and just go walk around the building. Also, it's fucking badass that I work at a place that they're like, yeah, man, if at any point you just need to take like 5 minutes, don't even clock out, just go. Like,
That's
unless
nice.
I'm on the phone. If I'm on the phone, they're like, you can't do that. You know what I mean? Like, I have like scheduled phone time. But also, if I'm falling asleep while on the phone with somebody, I have got much bigger problems.
Yeah.
You know
That
what I mean?
was-
Like
that
an
was one
active
of the nice
conversation.
Yeah, that's. Were you? Or you weren't on the phones?
No, I'm not on the phones for another like 2 weeks.
Seriously? It's over a month and a half before you get on the phones?
Yeah, they have you work in web cases.
Oh my god, that's so good.
Yeah, they
That
want to
sounds
make
like
sure before you
good
go on
shit,
the
dude.
phone. Yeah, before you go on the phone, they're like, "Hey, maybe you should kind of know what you're doing before you actually talk to somebody." And
That's
then
good.
the first week you're on the phone, you have an onboarding coach sitting with you. Like you're doing the call
Oh.
on speakerphone, and they sit directly next to you.
Ooh, that does not sound fun.
That sounds amazing.
I mean, it'll
That's
be
how I trained
helpful,
at
but
MetLife.
also, ugh.
Steve, I don't think you understand how nerve-wracking it is.
Yeah. No,
There's
it's
so much
working
shit
any
that you have to
sort of-
know.
Working any sort of customer support or user support, like for anything, fucking blows. And you'll like you're always gonna get those people who want to be total fucking cocksuckers about everything and really throw a curve to you. Like when I was training at MetLife, I had one of the senior people in my whatever unit.
Hey, MetLife's one of our customers. We have like
Oh,
a
really?
team at
That's funny.
we have a team that's like directly just supports MetLife only. They work in the same building,
man.
but
They're huge.
yeah, but MetLife was like, we're gonna basically buy employees from you because
Nice.
we need our own client support team.
Yeah, I could see that, man.
Sorry, I interrupted.
No, it's all right. Yeah, I had one of the senior people training me when I was there, and like in our unit, she was pretty good. And I did like it was all right, but I still remember like my first or second day on the phones, she was listening in, and I was like trying to talk, like give the script and give the information and stuff like that. And of course, there was this one body shop because I was a dispatcher. There's this one body shop who were just they were just assholes. And they basically were like the dude's MO who worked there. Apparently he was like a big roid head. But for that area of the state that we were talking to, like they had 5 contracts of like high-end BMW dealers. So if a car got damaged in that area, and of course it was down towards like New York City, so it was like BMW, Mercedes, like all the high-end cars. The dealer didn't do the body work. He sent it out to this shop, and this guy was a fucking prick. He wouldn't let our like guys in to look at damaged cars when we had customers there and stuff. So, I mean, he was an asshole. He'd just call you up and yell at you for no fucking reason. So like my first day, we got a call from him, and he started like fucking yelling at me, and I'm just like, I looked at her, I'm like, what do I do? And she's like, giving me the script to give this dude basically to like. Because he would call up just to yell. He thought it was funny or something like that. And he was one of those guys.
Yeah, there's people like that.
So, it was like, that was his job, was to just, like, he was the shop owner, but he was an asshole. And so, like, you couldn't level with him. Like, he was going to be an asshole no matter what. So I'm like, had to deal with him a couple times. I'm like, man, fuck this clown. Like, I was trying to figure out if there was like a legit way I could get him so fucking triggered that he gets thrown off. Like there were times where I want to say they removed this shop from our list of like shops that they worked with at MetLife because this dude was such a fucking asshole to people.
I believe that kind of stuff.
They did everything they could, and we still had to deal with this cocksucker.
And then even like in client support too, like these people are calling you because they can't do their job.
Yeah. Yep.
We had a guy call today, furious Russian man.
Oh no.
Nobody can log in. What the fuck is going on with you guys? You guys can't do anything right. What the fuck?
Oh, so we're going that direction already, huh?
So that was the gist of what he was saying over pretty much an hour. So then they get off the phone with him. They're doing some more research. And what they had figured out is that nobody could log in because there was only one user.
Oh my god.
So it was
The
his
one
fault.
you-
So
it was him.
It was one user, and they were using everybody was using the same login.
Everybody had their own usernames, but when they went to go check, they were like, "There's only one active user in your database," and they're like, "Why is that?" So they basically made up like some new users, and everyone had to like go like redo their passwords and all that shit. And then they did some more looking into it, and what happened was that this motherfucker deleted everyone's user IDs and then called us
Oh, what an
being
idiot.
like, "What the fuck is wrong with you guys? This software doesn't work." And you're like, "You deleted everyone's user ID."
I've had that happen before, like at my last gig. It was really funny because, at the ad agency I worked at, they were, we did websites and stuff, and so the back-end developers had access to all sorts of logs and stuff. They could go in through terminal window, like with commands or whatever. So they could like access logs and download them and like have them parsed or whatever. So we had like customers call us up with the same thing, like, "Our shit's fucking broken. Why is it broken?" And they start yelling, and then like our back-end developers, our back-end developers logged in, like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me." I'm like, "What? Like, this moron just broke everything. He deleted something he wasn't supposed to or whatever, so he like broke everything." And they're like, "Oh, really?" And then
people being like, "I know how to use SQL," and you're like, "Do you?" Because you just deleted like everything.
Yeah, you broke your own shit. Now you're gonna blame us. It was
Like, no, you're totally right. You deleted an entry from a table that needed to be deleted, but you forgot to realize is that table has information linked to 80 other tables, and now you broke fucking everything.
Yep. Yeah. It was always funny to get those deals and watch those tickets unfold. Like, as somebody who wasn't in the fight, because I was front end, so like I was doing the visual, the layout, and stuff like that of the site, and then like the back end people making sure all the. Oh, it was so funny. They'd sit there and they'd just be like, "Yup, it's broken. You broke it. We'll fix it, but we're gonna charge it."
Steve, this is why it's nerve-wracking. Picture the thing that you know the best in the world.
Okay.
And now somebody's asking you questions about it.
Okay.
You can answer all those questions. Now, think about how long it took you to learn all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now,
I understand that it's going to be nerve-wracking. I understand.
Give you a month and a subject that you don't know dick about and a program that you've never used. And then somebody is like, "Hey, I didn't mean to do a bank reconciliation. Can you backtrack on that for me?" And you're like, "I'm sorry, what?"
You're just
like, "Hey, something's broken in my chart of accounts." Hey, what's a chart of accounts? It's like shit like that where you're like, "I don't even know what you're saying right now."
I get that. Like, I really do.
That's why I'm so happy that like someone's gonna be sitting with me when I start on the phones, so that way I can be like, "All right, just hold on 1 second, hold," and be like, "Hey, what, All right, I'm good to go."
All right.
I lied. I'm like very close. Had to put a new pot in so I could take a rip of the old Julius Caesar.
I just need to watch this Borderlands trailer for the 3rd time today.
All right, are we ready for a clap?
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
That was really late.
It's okay. I do it based off the end one anyway. Hello, listeners. This is BarelyADS, the show where we shoot from the hip. I'm your host, Ben Malone, and with me today is Xanafan711 and Slapshot Scott. Welcome to the show, boys.
What's up?
Welcome to the show, listeners. Sorry about the delay in last week. So we've had 2 podcasts go up on a Thursday, which I do not like. Wednesday's the absolute latest for me.
You mean Wednesday's normal? Tuesday night.
Yeah. So I was in the hospital 2 weeks ago, and then this last week I had got some cables for a new hard drive, and then I wanted to reinstall Windows on a solid state and all this crap. Point being, my audio software wasn't installed, and then whew, 4 hours later, no time to edit the podcast. And that's the way it goes.
It's a good thing I couldn't sleep, so I just did it this morning.
But what you did get is last month's episode of Is This What You Want? Our Patreon podcast that if you want to get the new one, well, it'll probably be up this week or next week. Patreon.com/BarelyADS show. I'm mixing it up this week, guys, because we're a little bit late. It's 11 o'clock p.m. God's time on twitch.tv/BarelyADS. That's right. That's where we stream this show every single week. Twitch.tv/BarelyADS. About 10:30, 10, 11 God's time. Band of the week is Kali Masi. This is a band that has been on Audio Tree, much like Bland Finity's band.
Old band.
Oh my god, I'm cringing at myself so hard. You know what? Kali Masi, that's the band of the week. KaliMasi.bandcamp.com. It's KALIMASI.bandcamp.com. And that band of the week is brought to you by Jumpalines, the original name for trampolines before your mom jumped on them. If you want to have your band on the show or an email or anything else, send us your emails, your limericks, your dares, your quests, your game reviews. I've decided that's a thing. Keep it short, ladies and gentlemen. Send it to barelyadestinyshow@gmail.com or send us a DM on Twitter @BarelyADS, or better yet, just go to our website, barelyads.com. From there, you can find the link to our Discord, which is a cool-ass chat room we all hanging out in, posting pictures of tech decks. What is it? 1999? Is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater the biggest game in the world right now? Who knows? I'll tell you, you would know if you were in the Discord. Please go to our YouTube channel. It's you have to search for BarelyADS on YouTube. Give it a follow so that way we can get that 100 follows. I feel like I'm begging you out here. You know what? I am begging you out here.
It's working though. We're like a third of the way there.
Oh my god. I know 30 people that would subscribe to my channel right now, but I'm not BarelyADS, am I?
I mean, you are.
I am. I am everything. I am the man of the people.
We are
alone.
BarelyADS.
Quack, 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 Gordon. iTunes reviews. We still didn't look them up.
No,
we didn't.
I'd be willing to put $5 of Patreon money on the fact that we don't have any this week. But what we do have is the TWAB. This week at Bungie, Lord Saladin's watching you. That's right. It's Iron Banner. And what has been going on is that stupid plus 100, minus 100 kind of bullshit. Yep. Update. His Claws of the Wolf has high caliber rounds. Kill clape. Yeah, we're going to stick with that one. Outlaw and range masterwork.
So how can I get this Claws of the Wolf, honestly?
Play Iron Banner, do your bounties, and then you will be able to purchase it directly from Saladin.
Okay, that is it for tokens? Can I get tokens? Because I've got a shitload of tokens.
Yeah,
Let
it's
me
for
tell
tokens.
You. Oh boy.
And the armor is randomly rolled, mobile, resilient, or recovery, and it's dope.
Right.
I've actually been playing a bunch of it. It's still the same Iron Banner, but now with actual random armor. So
they're updating the way that reset works to try and eliminate streaks of the same or missing nightfalls and/or weapon frames. Did they go into any more detail about that, Mr. Xanafan?
Yeah, basically they're tired of people either getting the same strike over and over or not getting the same strike over and over with the nightfall randomization and the weapon frame randomization. So they're working on changing that.
Oh, that's cool. You know what I would do is divide them into groups and then randomize within the group. But that's just me. I don't know anything about game development, but what I do know is that update 2.2.1 will bring higher drop rates for ghosts, ships, sparrows, and 1,000 voices, as well as...
Will this include the Gambit ones that I need for my Dredgen title?
Sure.
Yes.
Oh, God, I hope so.
That's the whole point.
As well as a longer window to complete invitations of the 9, and a more useful 5 of Swords?
What?
You don't know what a Five of Swords is?
No.
It's the Nightfall card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do Nightfalls ever.
But yeah, I didn't put specifically what areas are dropping more frequent ghost ships, sparrows, and Thousand Voices because the ones that require RNG drops for titles. So anything that requires RNG drops for titles, Raid, Dreaming City, Gambit, etc. Those are all the things.
Fucking Traveler for that.
Guys, that's it. That's all the Destiny stuff.
Yeah, that's a light twab this week.
Thin words at Bungie. That's okay. We've got a lot of other gaming stuff to talk about this week.
Yep.
Let's start with the stuff. Let's start with the old news. Zan's playing God of War finally.
I am.
How do you like it?
I really like it, and there are a couple things that came to mind while playing it that I don't recall anyone else talking about it, which is that it feels like old God of War still, but just blown into a big open world. It is a little bit like the combat and stuff like
1,000% different.
It is, but it's different.
But
it still feels like you're just in there destroying tons of dudes.
Yeah, I will say that in the other God of War games, it was like one swing would kill like 4 people, and this time, one swing does a bit of damage to 1 person.
Yeah.
So that's way different.
But like the way you move around the enemies, the way you're approaching your attacks, the way like just fighting things feels in general is very.
How far are you into it?
I'm through the first the elf realm, the first realm.
Okay.
And then I did like a dungeon thing.
I will tell you, you're not very far whatsoever.
Oh, I know. I'm aware of that. There's 9 realms, so I imagine I'm maybe a 10th of the way through the game. Maybe a 10th.
There's not 9 realms.
Oh.
We can only hope for. Let me just crush that dream for you right now. You're never going to Asgard. I know you wanted to. You're not.
Not really. I didn't really care that much about Asgard.
I did. What the fuck, man?
Well, like
you
they
hear
already.
Asgard, and you're like, I want to go there.
Well, they also already talked about how Odin's at Jotunheim. So,
dude, that needs to just be the next God of War game. Is you just go to Asgard and fuck up everybody, just like God of War 2, where you just went to Mount Olympus and just killed everybody.
That'd be dope.
God of War is a really good game.
Yeah, it's fun. It's
I'm
beautiful.
excited to hear more about that game as time goes on with you.
Yeah, stoked about it.
So that's the first impression. You have anything else about that?
The story's good. I want to know more about Faye, so I really hope I learn more about Faye because she seems really awesome. And both Atreus and Kratos are dicks. They're just jerks to each other the whole time. It's Atreus is a smartass, and I love it.
I want to know, how much of the other God of War games have you played?
I played 1 and 2.
Oh, okay. You played them all the way through?
Yeah. And I have 3, but I haven't played it.
Yeah, 3 is actually really, really good. I got into God of War on my Vita. So I played 1 and 2 on the Vita and played 3 on my PS4.
Nice. Yeah, I played 1 and 2 at Mikey's house in that basement we hung out in a whole lot back in the day.
Yeah, man, solving Rubik's cubes.
Yeah.
What else? I've been playing The Division 2. You've been playing it as well, Steve. We talked about it last week.
I think I had just gotten it last week. Or it was like downloading or something. I had just barely jumped in, but I've logged since then 40 hours into The Division 2.
Yeah, you're already max level. I'm kicking around about level 14. I played a little bit more today. That game's fucking hard by yourself.
It is, but it still feels good. It's still fun.
And I like this, that by yourself, when you die, they are generous as fuck with the checkpoints and the missions.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Destiny, you need to take a page out of the Division's book with this one. The missions, you're just like in the world walking around, and then you walk up to a mission and nothing loads, nothing changes at all. It's just like, oh, you walked past the mission line, and now you're doing a mission, and when you're done, you'll walk out of the front door and just be back in the open world and no loading screens at all the entire time. It's all there.
Yep.
And I love that because it just keeps you in there. And then all the fights between missions, like
Mm-hmm.
I know that like Division and Destiny get compared a lot, but like they're very different.
Oh
like,
yeah, very, very, very different.
The only similarities are the fact that you shoot people and you get loot.
Yep.
And there's end game where you do the same stuff over and over again. But other than that, like, fuck, that game could not be more different than Destiny. It's really fun.
Yep. Your loot recycles so often too. Like you are constantly changing your gear.
I don't like that, like at least like during leveling up, because I have not read the stats on anything. I've just been like, oh, higher level, higher level, higher level, and it's all the time to the point where I'll do like 2 or 3 missions and then just like, oh, there's like 15 things I didn't even use because I just didn't want to pause the action and go into it.
Yeah, it slows down once you get closer to 30, but then once you
I would imagine so.
Once you hit the world tiers, then it starts over again. Now you have a new stat gear score to worry about once you hit world tier.
I have no idea what that even means.
It's light level.
No, I mean, like, I'm still very fresh in it. I will say that this game, the story, I would say that it sucks, but in order for something to suck, it has to exist. So
yeah, it's not so much like a story as you are in a world that stuff has happened in.
All you need to know is that the dollar flu is a thing and it's anarchy in the streets. That's all I know about the Division. And let me tell you, those New York streets need cleaned up.
Oh God, that inside joke is rough. You're gonna get yelled at.
What are you talking about? Okay, let me set the record straight right here. The Division takes place in New York. What the fuck is everybody talking about?
The Division does take place in New York, but the
I
Division
know.
2.
That's what I'm talking about. Anthem still patching stuff. That's pretty sweet.
They made even more loot.
Yeah. My Origin access has expired, and I will be picking up another $15 subscription when the new stuff comes out.
Yep,
and that's how that's gonna go. That game's gonna be $15 at a time, and eventually, I still won't hit as much money as I've sunk into Destiny. So, like seriously, like if they come out with 4 expansions a year, that's just the price of the base game. At $15, like
Yep.
you can get through everything they put out in a month. It's a fun way of making a game, and it's kind of how I feel about the Division as well. Is like I probably will play Division longer than I played Anthem. A, because I own it, and B, because there's PvP at the end.
Yeah, there's PvP and PvEVP.
Yeah, so I'll probably do that stuff for a little bit, but I don't see myself sticking around. I don't know. I think I'm just burned out on games as a service.
Oh, it'll suck you in once you hit World Tier 1 and you're like trying to get to that World Tier. I think 5 is either just came out or is about to come out. I
want to play Sekiro.
Oh, I'm not about that life.
I heard that that's pretty difficult.
Oh
it's a Souls game.
And it's that is That's
yeah.
Or sorry, it's a From Software game. It is not a Souls game. It's its own thing. But it's
not
from
a Souls
software.
Game. It's got. I heard a good explanation.
It's like influenced by it or something.
No,
right?
it's made by the people that made Souls. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's just not a Souls game.
So it's okay.
Right. Okay, so what I've heard.
Gotcha. Okay.
Is somebody put it very, very well where they said, somebody on Giant Bomb, they said that basically Dark Souls and that like From Software has created this amazing template for these like open world RPG, like really difficult combat games.
Mm-hmm.
And they can change stuff around, but they still have the same template to it. Like they have like this good idea that they keep using. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense, because Sekiro, unlike Bloodborne and Dark Souls, you can't go grind levels if you like just suck. They're like, there's no grinding levels. If somebody's whooping your ass, you just have to get better at the game until you can beat them.
Yeah, it seems more like that's another thing to call it back to God of War that I like, is there's no leveling your character in God of War. You better your gear, and your gear kind of levels up, and then that makes you level up. So like,
yeah,
Where
It does matter
it's like
though.
there's a progression, but it's not your typical level up and you become more powerful progression.
Yeah. So I'll probably pick that up on PC and play it for like 30 hours, get maybe I don't know what somebody who's good at the game would do in
An
an
hour.
hour, and then just be like, I'm not playing that anymore, and then pick it up like I do Bloodborne. About every year I try and play Bloodborne again just to see if it's changed and I'm like better at it this time or something like that.
I'll just
So
put.
what happened to Mass Effect, man?
Yeah. Instead, I'm just gonna pick up Devil May Cry 5 and continue playing God of War and play easier action slashy yada yadas.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll get Sekiro, or maybe I'll just wait a month and get Days Gone.
Oh my God! Yep, that's what I'm hype about right now.
Scott, do you have any interest in that game?
Days Gone.
Yeah, okay. This is the one. Do you remember at E3? It's the zombie game where you have a motorcycle and the guy he set the trap where the guy
Yeah.
like stepped in a bear trap and then
Yeah, I keep hearing about this one. It sounds interesting, but I'm just like, it's not up in my face yet, so I'm not like, it's not
Yeah.
up in my face, so it's not up in my radar. You know.
I don't know if it is going to be up in your face. Sony's been kind of not really doing much with it, and the people in the industry just seem to be kind of down on it, where they're like, that game looks uninteresting, and I'm like, how does that look uninteresting to you?
Yeah.
Like, I
Oh,
know
man,
there's a
it's-
million zombie games, but this is like horde zombie game. You know what I
I
mean?
feel like they just talked about it on a couple podcasts I listened to this week, and then like a couple of my clanmates were talking about maybe picking it up. So I don't know.
But, like,
we'll see.
Well, it's a single
Categorizing
player
it
game,
as
too.
a zombie game, we're like, well, there's a bunch of zombie games. Like, yeah, there's also
Oh,
a bunch of
yeah.
shooters.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is not. This is like an action RPG.
Well, think about like Resident Evil is very one-on-one zombie encounters. This
Mhm.
game is like 100-on-1. That is a vastly different game.
Yeah, it is. There's more. There's gonna probably be more quick thinking involved because Resident Evil, you can take your time and like figure out the puzzles, go in and out.
Well, this one
I'm s-
seems way more, much more like what you would expect out of a zombie game if you were to like, if zombies actually happened in real life. This is what you would kind of expect, where you're like in an open world. You're trying to find food and gear and upgrade your motorcycle, and you need to get gas, and you need to help. You run across settlements of people who have like specialties. Like, I know there's one specifically where a guy makes like upgrades for your bike at this settlement. So you find things to give him to upgrade your bike, and you got to help out this settlement, and you can travel between the settlements, and it's just big huge open world. And then so the game is more like sustainability, survival, but there's tons and tons of zombies with a horde mindset, like AI. That's the big thing. The big selling point of this game is the AI is supposed to be incredible, with this horde
Don't-
mechanic.
They do the dumb World War Z thing where they stack.
Oh yeah, that whole thing.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because Molotovs are going to be my favorite thing in that game.
Right.
Like, ooh, a bunch of them. Molotov.
Right. Well, except you're gonna typically not want to be loud.
Well, I mean, if there's a
if-
horde of zombies pulling the World War Z thing,
Yeah, you're
I
gonna
think
be
we're
loud.
past the point of stealth.
But for the most part, you're not gonna want to be. It's gonna be more evading them than killing the zombies.
I just thought you'd like it, Scott, because of the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I do remember us talking about that now. Like now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, it does sound.
I'm excited about it though. That's why I'm playing through God of War right now, is to try and get that off my shelf, so I feel more comfortable buying a new game when it comes out.
Yeah, I should probably finish Resident Evil before that. Still, that game is fucking great. God. Bethesda.
You skipped the one.
Well, 2 new Switches.
Yeah.
One is handheld only, and the other would be the equivalent of what PS4 Pro is to a PlayStation.
Yeah, but not as powerful as a PS4 Pro or an Xbox One X.
Yeah, like scale everything down because Nintendo is just forever a generation behind graphically now.
Yeah. So this is cool. More hardcore console for the hardcore gamer, and one more for like kids. It's got two. The one less powerful one is supposed to have like two screens, so that one's a screen and one's a touchpad kind of thing, or that's the speculation.
I do like this. Bethesda games are coming to Steam. This from Cass Marshall at Polygon. Bethesda is bringing Rage 2, Doom Eternal, Fallout 76, and more to Steam, as well as the Bethesda store. And the reason I like this is because for when it was like Epic has their own store, and then Discord's making their own store, and everybody's trying to get exclusives to their own store, and then Bethesda has their own store. I was like, come on, I'm sick of all these goddamn launchers.
Yeah.
But I digress. PC news aside, EA, let's half-mast the flag for this one. EA lays off 350 people from marketing, publishing, and analytics. And that's from, oh, shit.
Saqib Shah.
I'm sorry to make light of that topic. It's just I went to go read the author, and I was like, oh, that's from a language I don't speak.
Yeah, he's at Engadget.
Okay. According to EA internal email obtained by Kotaku, layoffs have been looming since October, and those affected will be given a severance. So at least they're not like just straight out, but it just makes you think like gaming's probably not the best industry to be in for, what's the word? Sustainability.
Yeah.
Job security.
I think that's
Job
tech.
security
The
and
tech
longevity.
industry in general is there's a lot of moving around of people all the time.
It's tech in general, yeah. But I mean, this has come up several times. I think in our podcast as well as other ones. The gaming industry is going through some weird stuff right now, and there's definitely going to be. Okay, let me rephrase that. It's going through some weird stuff right now. It's not guaranteed, but it's not looking good. And based on my little bit of experience in the tech industry, things could get rough real quick. So.
Yeah, it's definitely a bummer. I'm glad that there's what is that hashtag game jobs on Twitter.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
people are reaching out a lot. It seems lately though, a lot of the layoffs are non-development positions.
Oh yeah, that's usually like the first. They don't want to get rid of their developers or the people actually working on the games because they can contract out for marketing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Just firms
there's
out
always
the
a
ones
million kids coming out of college trying to get a marketing job.
Yeah, it's that. It's also, I mean, there's firms that specialize in that for Fortune 500 companies, marketing analytics and customer reports, stuff like that. So they're going to go hire those guys probably for a cheaper. I don't want to say cheaper like overall, but I mean like it's one of those things where like, oh, we can save money if we hire a contract.
Yeah.
We'll save money now, we can spend it later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much.
I don't know. It just seems like marketing is one of those things. Well, let me say it the other way. Game development seems like one of those things where the longer you've been doing it, you just get better and better and better and better at doing it.
Yeah.
Whereas marketing seems like a thing where the longer you've been doing it, it's like a hill where you get better and then you start becoming out of touch because you're too old.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Sometimes there's also having worked previously in marketing, and I'll try to keep this as not like salty as possible because there's a lot of people who that kind of may be the case or maybe is not the case because they were never good. They just kind of think they're awesome and they drive a whole department into the ground or something like that. So it's like, the kids, they're all using smartphones and listening to the hip hop these days.
But then they don't hire a kid to be like, no.
Not. It's actually not like that, So
Well, we're starting to see, especially in the gaming industry and things like makeup and food and things like that, where it's not your typical kind of marketing anymore. It's an influencer-based marketing. So if you take Apex, for example, they took their marketing budget that they would have for any AAA game and they just gave it to influencers and said, hey, this is a really good game. Just play it. Tweet about it and then play it for a day. And we'll pay you, and people will get to see it. People will get to jump in and play with you. We get to see you, whether or not you react, like how you react to that game at all. And if if the influencer enjoys the game, then their audience is probably also going to enjoy the game. So they get more natural kind of reactions from these influencers anyway. So they can just refocus that budget on on that kind of thing. And I would imagine it's way cheaper that way than it is to actually have people on staff working for marketing to make very expensive commercials and ads and things like that.
That's interesting.
If anybody wants to, any influencers just want to play our podcast, or maybe like when we're streaming, just talk over it, I'm totally cool with that, man. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
We won't pay you, but
Put it on repeat. Fuck it.
play it in the
Just keep
background of your
going.
streams. You know what's good for when you're trying to talk is 3 other people talking and not giving a shit if you're talking.
Right. Oh man.
Oh, okay. Gwent is coming to smartphones. Don't care, Nips. That's from Alex Walker at Kotaku, Australia.
That's the first thing I thought when I saw that in the notes.
Yeah.
I'm like, so.
Oh, I put it in here
Smart.
just for Nips. Yeah.
Oh, you're talking. Okay, you worded this next one weird. Monolith Soft Zelda. Okay, so this from Matthew Handerhan at GameIndustries.biz. I'm proud of myself for saying that what I think is correctly. This is Crypt of the Necrodancer. I've played Crypt of the Necrodancer, so they're making a Zelda-themed Crypt of the Necrodancer. And what Crypt of the Necrodancer is, I'm not gonna say this game anymore.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Necrodancer is a game where you have to move on beat with the music, and otherwise you can't move and you can't attack. Like everything has to be on beat, otherwise it won't work.
Oh, well, they may have
thing about-
made that, but that Monolith Software is a 3-studio company that has worked on more than just that game, including Breath of the Wild and Xenoblade. So they just make
but
RPGs.
This is Crypt of the Necrodancer. It's skinned with Zelda. It's the same game.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
So it's really cool. The enemies also have to do stuff in rhythm, so they're gonna like dash back, dash back, like, you know what I mean? Like they have like a rhythm, and you can figure out like what they're doing, so to like move forward / backward, forward / backward, like I don't know, it's really cool. And then it gets broken because there's a character that you can get that doesn't pay attention to the beat aspect of it. You can just free move and free attack.
Oh.
Yeah. But you don't have like any cool powers other than that, but it's kind of broken. Yeah, I'm excited for this. Crypt of the Necrodancer is a really fun game.
Yeah. Well, they've proven themselves before. Like all the games, the first party games that they make for Nintendo are like big Nintendo fan favorite games. They also worked on Splatoon and Animal Crossing.
Yeah, it's called Cadence of Hyrule, Crypt of the Necrodancer, featuring The Legend of Zelda.
Okay. Well, they just started hiring for it, so don't expect it for a while.
Oh, maybe I'm talking about a different game then.
I think you are, because if that's announced already, this is just an unannounced Zelda game that they are hiring for from Monolith Software.
All right. Disregard everything I said. This is a different developer who's making this, and I will get that for you. Steve, tell me about the game that I wasn't talking about.
Well, we don't know anything about it other than the developer who's hiring for it. Developer of Xenoblade. They worked on Breath of the Wild, and they also worked on Splatoon and Animal Crossing. So they are hiring to work on an unannounced Zelda game.
Well, I like my story better.
Basically, we're getting the thing that it seems like is that we're gonna get the next big Zelda release is what's being hired for.
I was gonna
the
say
next,
that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
Brace Yourself Games is the one who makes Crypt of the Necrodancer and the new Zelda one.
Okay. So that's a game announcement. Separate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We have a new Zelda game, and then we have a reskinned indie game with Zelda.
Dope.
Okay. Scott, the floor is yours for the main topic.
All right. So, obviously, the elephant in the room, for those of you who have been paying attention and know what I'm about to say.
Announced today.
That's right. All of you agents, freelancers, legends, and even guardians, take 5 for this next segment. that is, unless you're interested in becoming a Vault Hunter. We're a Vault Hunter previously, or are still a Vault Hunter and just waiting for your next gig. This part is for us, gang. So hold on to your badonkadonks. Get ready to cheer explode because the time is finally here. Borderlands 3 has been revealed. And let me tell you guys, it looks fucking fantastic.
Scott's all on that hype train.
Dude, it's I don't know if you can call it a hype train because I'm watching it and I'm like,
Sorry, hype bus.
I don't exactly. It's I'm on the bus, but I don't know if it's the hype bus because as I'm watching the trailer, I'm going, this looks as good as I expected it to look. And there wasn't like a ton of fanfare with it. It was just like really good. And I'm like, man, this feels like you're slipping back into like, you know, your old pair of boots and you're going for it. So
I just Googled Borderlands 3 and this video came up called Borderlands 3 trailer is a disappointment. And I immediately went, oh, I was like, is that Paul Tassi?
No way. Is it really?
It's not. It's from Polygon. Okay. I saw that one too.
But I was like, I looked at a bunch of Paul Tassi's articles, just the titles of them, and they're all like, the worst thing EA could have done. Why Destiny 2 is a garbage piece of shit. Like every single one is like, this is why the game you like sucks ass. And I'm just like, man, can you I get like why you're writing them because people want to read that kind of stuff because when you hate a game, you want to like read about how much it sucks. But like, can you write? Do you like video games, man?
I mean,
he works for Forbes, so that's in question.
I'd love to get him on the show and ask him that. Be like, do you honestly like video games? I'm sure he's probably actually a nice guy.
Yeah, I mean, clickbait works, right?
Yeah, from what I gleaned just from that, it was one of those like where it seemed to me like he wanted to work at Forbes and was the youngest guy who knew anything about video games. Was like, here, let this guy write about it. He's the new kid.
Man, these graphics look really good though. Like I know it's still like the same style, but like it looks really good.
Yep. Yeah. It's the cell shaded style that returns. So let's go over a little bit of what we got here from the 3-minute trailer. The gang's all here, and we've got a whole new legion of bandits to murder. We see Brick, Mordecai, Lilith, and everybody's favorite pint-sized homicidal preteen turned teenager, I believe, Tiny Tina. They're back. We've got Claptrap. We've got Sir Hammerlock, Ellie, Marcus, Patricia Tanis. I mean, like basically everybody from the previous Borderlands titles that you would expect to see in this universe. They're back. They're going to be doing a cameo. I even saw Maya from who's the Siren from Borderlands 2. She's back and she helps out with this with some fashion because she shows up in the game a couple different times.
That's the blue-haired one, right?
Yeah, the blue-haired. Okay.
What is this black chick with the freaking like 4 spirit arms?
That's Amara. She's the new Siren. They did drop her name. They didn't drop the names of the other ones in this particular trailer. But
this looks insane. Lilith has flame wings.
Yeah, she's
the new Siren's running around with sweet business.
Yeah, basically. So it's interesting because they didn't have any. Well, we'll back it up. We'll go over characters first. So we did get to see a bit of gameplay in the trailer. The Siren, like I said, she's going to be more melee focused. She's got those giant 6 like spirit arms that running around punching things. She's a badass. We have the soldier who's like this little 5-foot tall female character, and she has like a floating drone that follows her around and then destructs into a giant goddamn mech with machine guns and all sorts of other crazy shit.
Is it a bear?
It's not a bear. It doesn't look like a bear, but it's giant. It's a giant mech. Like the pictures I've seen of her riding it around look like the mech from the beginning of the original RoboCop movie, who just blasts the dude's legs off and stuff. So that those are 2 of the characters. We have the agent who's going to be like a spy, basically 007 type character. He has a hologram, so he can throw down a hologram of himself. And of course, the Beastmaster, who we talked about before. That character is physically the biggest character, and there's rumors flying around that it's Loaderbot in disguise, which is actually going to be really cool if that happens. But he has a skag and a spider ant he can summon, and they just basically run around fucking shit up.
Pets.
So yeah, he's gonna have pets.
Oh,
It's
pet
gonna be
sounds.
crazy. So there are. Looks like as far as gameplay goes, well,
It's
the
Borderlands.
main. Yeah, it's Borderlands. I mean, the environments are going to be huge and insane. Like post-apocalyptic. There's a post-apocalyptic theme park that I believe is the way they were showing it. It looked like it was the headquarters for the new bad guys, who are the fanatical Children of the Vault, led by a male and female. Mysterious figures. They're like the cult leaders. The male has a big cybernetic arm. We didn't get too much on the female character, but it looks like they're going to be the main faction in the main enemy faction. There's just tons of bandits and psychos that they kind of have at command. The other environments we saw, there's a huge like mountain monastery, and that's, I believe, where Maya the Siren comes in and find her. There's a big techno metropolis, and of course, like, forests, swamps, some new stuff. Basically, you're gonna get to see more of Pandora. There are new vehicles. There's like a hovercraft thing. There's more. There's like a crazy like one-wheeled motorcycle thing where you sit inside the wheel and drive it. On the teaser Mask of Mayhem thing that came out yesterday, Imara, the new Siren, is riding that in like the 3D model, so that was pretty crazy looking. And there's tons of racing in this new trailer, so I don't know if there's like more racing plots or if they were just doing like car chases and explosions for the trailer, but there's tons of bandit technicals, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty awesome fucking game.
They did not announce a release date.
No, that's the other interesting thing. They didn't give us a release date, and they did not give hints as to what consoles will get it when. But if I had to guess, I'd say they're going to drop it on all three consoles. Previous Borderlands games brought back to PS4, Xbox One, and PC. They're updating all the previous Borderlands games to. I believe the Handsome Collection is getting 4K. And there's going to be a free patch update for Borderlands VR that's going to get a bunch of stuff too, all the DLC stuff. But I mean, that's the previous games. We're talking about Borderlands 3 right now. It's going to be the I also placed in the notes. Sorry. So, if the hints that Gearbox has been dropping and the rumors that they've been putting out are true, we should expect to see a release date within the next fiscal year. Now, for reference, the next
No, they're
fiscal
telling
year,
us more information's to come on April 3rd when they release the Borderlands 1 Game of the Year edition. That's when people are expecting a release date.
Really?
Which I wanted to ask you guys, do you think they're just going to drop it on April 3rd?
Borderlands 3? No way, man.
There's over 1 billion guns in this game.
Yeah, they're
dude.
randomly generated.
I
There's
know.
a
That pisses me off so fucking much. They're like, there's 1 billion guns. I'm like, yeah. Then so does Destiny, but no, they don't. You know what I
I'm
mean?
okay with it, man.
I'm
okay with it.
I think that it might be possible that they could drop this game on April 3rd because we've been hearing rumors for, 2 years? Scott's been talking about Borderlands 3 since we've been doing this podcast, and all the rumors that he tells us are seemingly confirmed in this trailer. So,
yeah, I mean, I watched the stream today. Randy Pitchford said they've been working on this game for the last 5 years.
yeah.
Now, whether or not it's complete and they're able to drop it on April 3rd remains to be seen.
Let's see what day of the week that is.
Yeah, would it be a good time for that? I mean, they were real. They played real coy with the whole thing too, because they had a bunch of people from Gearbox come out and talk about other stuff. They played up the new, like the stuff that's coming for the Handsome Collection, Borderlands Game of the Year edition, all that other stuff first. And they waited till like the last maybe 10 minutes of that hour to start talking about Borderlands 3, and then drop the trailer on us last thing. That was, like it was frustrating. I'll admit, I was sitting there shouting at the TV, and texting back and forth with a couple of my buddies from work who are huge Borderlands fans. Were just like, stop fucking around, give us the goddamn trailer now.
Right. I no longer think it's being dropped on the 3rd because that's a Wednesday.
Yeah, that'd be a weird day to drop a game. So I think we're gonna see it sooner rather than later. I mean, there were that I heard, like, just rumors off of writers on Twitter and stuff. They said that they think it's going to be quick turnaround, right? Like, they're going to be dropping it quick, sort of like Apex, but not as fast or as stealthy. Because, I mean, this is huge. This is pretty much the franchise for Gearbox that they had 2 major flops in the decade. They need this one to hit it big, and they need it to, like, basically pick up after the last, like, because it looks like the game's going to pick up after the last 2 where that left off, and that's a good thing in my opinion.
Continue that story.
The one thing worth mentioning is that the main writer for the last 2 Borderlands games, Anthony Birch, did leave a couple Gearbox, but he was involved with Telltale games, Tales from the Borderlands, doing some writing. So
he's jobless.
Well, I mean, I don't know if he was just a contractor or what his involvement was. I know he did do some writing, and he did make Gearbox.
They like Gary Whitta was a contractor on that, on the Telltale stuff too. So probably contract work. What I really want to know is how they got Xbox to give up Marcus Phoenix to be in this game and play a saxophone with a mustache.
That was Brick. They put a mustache on Brick, and they had a saxophone, Brick saxophone solo in the trailer.
Do you see
hilarious
in Discord chat how this man playing saxophone looks exactly like Marcus Phoenix?
Yes, it's really funny.
I
didn't even notice it at first.
What the fuck?
I
was like, is that the guy from Gears of War?
So here's what I want to know about Borderlands 3. What do you guys think? Is this going to be like it's been with Borderlands 2, where each player has its own world and then you can like join their world and run missions with them? Or do you think it's going to be more like Destiny, in which there's an open world and you just kind of hop into that world with other players?
From everything I've seen and heard, it's not going to be open world. I was going through a lot of stuff, like, look, see, I was thinking the same thing, and I was like, I was on the fence about it, maybe not. But it seems like, as far as the most vocal of the Borderlands fan base, they don't want open world. They don't want games as a service. They don't want,
I think that's a good call if it's that way as well. Yeah.
I mean that's like what I was thinking about, because, like, you bring in another game as a service, and you're already wading into a very saturated market right now with Destiny, The Division, and Anthem all being on at the same time. So, I mean, Borderlands is Borderlands, yeah, but how are you going to differentiate from that? And so I think they're going to leave it as it is, like 4-player PvE. You can join in with other, other friends or whatever. I mean, and at the same time, like, there's a subreddit for Borderlands looking for teams and stuff, so you can. It's not match made, it's not open world, but you can find people.
Yeah, which is the way I like playing Borderlands games. It's play through it on your own and then do like New Game Plus with friends.
Yeah,
I would like Gearbox to try and make an attempt at multiplayer this time, like PvP.
No, fuck that. Do not want PvP in Borderlands.
I mean, PvP is already in Borderlands, but I'd like them to actually make a little. I'd like them to try a little.
No, I'm good with it. I don't need PvP in my Borderlands. I just don't. It doesn't seem like a priority based on a lot of the stuff I was talking and looking at stuff. There's like
definitely not a priority comparison. It wasn't in for any of the other games.
No.
They're like, hey, I shot you. Let's duel.
Yeah.
You're like, what? I think it'd be cool if they had like a little mode where you could just take your guns in and just have it be broken as hell, and people are like, "There's only one gun that's good." You're like, "Yeah, it's Borderlands. Who cares?
Yeah,
go play PvE." We just put this in here so that way you could fuck around.
That's why they're not gonna put time into it, because they're just like.
I just want them to try
so broken.
A smidge more, just the smallest bit more than not at all. That's all.
So, that's I mean, that's pretty much all we got from the trailer. It was a 3 trailer, and like like Steve said, they're going to have more information come to us on April 3rd. I'm excited. In the meantime, we'll keep our scanners to the EchoNet to see if any more information comes out.
All right. Let's move on to listener question.
Listener questions. Maybe there's more coming. We'll see. I just asked. Brought to you by Tarsus Vodka. This week, or maybe it's Cosmodrome. I don't know. I forgot to change that part. This week at Cosmodrome Vodka, we've discovered that we don't need World Tiers, Elysian Chests, or whatever the fuck that Warframe universe has in order to keep our staff happy. We've been able to accomplish that via inviting them to meet the 9. What are the 9, you ask? How the hell should we know? We're not lore nerds, but we are amazing vodka distillers, and that's why we brought up the 9. While our researchers were busy speaking with the emissary, our samplers snuck in and obtained some samples of the 9 to mix with our signature vodka. We're calling it Vodka of the 9, emissary approved. The drifter swore the mixture would work. He even said, quote, "Holy shit, that will taste like a barbecued scorn roasted over a Vex fire," end quote. We have no idea what that tastes like, but we'll trust his judgment. Rather than cook the 9 samples over a Vex fire, we instead heated it in the Volunder Forge, since nobody is using it right now, and we then mixed it rapidly and gruesomely via the Vex Milk waterfall and the EDZ. If it's not Vex Milk, then oh shit, we don't know what we've been ingesting lately, but it certainly explains our galactic gastroenteritis. We're still testing the results of the mixture, but it looks promising. We consider 4 out of every 7 people dying from the vodka to be a huge success. Everyone gets resurrected anyways, right? Besides our non-Guardian test subjects, of course. Anyways, that's our product for this week, so don't forget to use the code #FuckboyPaul to receive whatever discount the cashier deems necessary for our product. And remember, Guardians, in Cosmodrome PAX East, Gearboxes tease Borderlands, even though this joke will be completely out of date because the reveal was earlier today. Oopsie daisies.
Nice. Phoenix wants to know, will you guys be watching the final season of Game of Thrones? Nope.
I probably will.
I want to, but I'm probably gonna end up watching it late. We always buy them on Blu-ray and watch them in 3 days or whatever.
Yeah, whenever Game of Thrones comes out, I subscribe to HBO Go or Now or whatever the fuck it's called right now, for that 3 months, and then I cancel it.
Yeah, I'm so behind that I'm just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Which is great because I don't have to worry about Twitter.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I stopped. I'm so far. I'm behind by at least 2 seasons. I stopped worrying about that. Yeah, a couple. Yeah, about 2 seasons ago, I'm like, well, somebody already done spoiled it for me, so I know generally what's gonna happen.
Yeah, by the time I get around to it, I won't remember.
Yep.
So Laz said, I asked what people have been playing, and he says been playing Overcooked 2, and as Gear Dad warned, it's guaranteed to start arguments. Funny anecdote about that. My friend who used to be into video games, not really anymore, played Overcooked for the first time. And he was playing with my buddy Alex and his girlfriend, and his girlfriend was like, all right guys, just remember we all need to, but when somebody makes a statement to the entire group and they really just mean you, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Cool. And that's the feedback I'm looking for. Yeah, she did that to him.
Nice.
Yeah. And then Laz also has a question. What's a good, quote, done being pregnant and now I want a beer, end quote, beer for my wife to get her back into social drinking?
I mean, that depends on your wife's tastes.
My wife doesn't drink, so margaritas.
Oh, God. He said get back to social drinking, not fucking black out.
I'd say
margaritas at the midnight buffet.
A good reintroduction would probably be similar to a good introduction to beer, and that would be like a white wheat.
Keystone Light.
Oh, no. It's like Blue Moon or Hoegaarden or Shock Top or something like that. And then work your way back from there.
What do you think a Hoegaarden is like? Like, where are all the pimps? You know what I
That's
mean?
pretty awesome.
Are they the
They're the
gardeners?
gardeners. Yeah.
All right. That's tight. That's real tight. Uh, Phoenix again says, have you seen Captain Marvel? Nope.
Yes.
If you have, thoughts?
I liked it. I don't think it was one of the best Marvel movies, but I definitely did like it. There's been a lot of hate on the like amnesia backstory method, but I didn't mind it so much. And
Scott, no, you haven't seen that movie because you have a child.
Yeah, no, I haven't been to the movies Deadpool 2, and that was when Gray Fox was like, hey, I'm going to see Deadpool 2. You should go too. Tell your wife you're going.
I haven't been to the movies since I just left work halfway through on my last day and went to go see Alita.
nice.
How was it? That looked awesome.
It was fun. It was a really
Yeah.
fun movie. I went to go see it by myself.
Yeah, it's Captain Marvel's good. I liked Brie Larson. She's sassy and it's fun. And Goose is the best character. Don't at me.
Yeah, Top Gun, man. Clear Knight wants to know. He says, what do you think? Is Clear Knight a boy? I don't know. They want to know. What do you think of the
yes,
Avengers
he.
Endgame? He wants to know. What do you think of the Avengers Endgame poster campaign? And don't you think the memes are already played out?
No.
I
haven't
thought
seen any of
so.
this.
I thought the memes were played out until I saw the Harambe one today.
Oh my god. Now I need to look this one up. The one that I'm laughing at is that they have all the movie posters, and the best one I've seen so far, until I've seen the Harambe one, is the Ant-Man one, and it says "Prepare your anus," and it references. Yeah, and now full disclaimer: I'm not really into the Avengers. I grew up watching X-Men. I'm like kind of familiar with how the Avengers, that whole story fits together. But it's one of those things where like I'm just like get to watching it when I get to watching it, right? I've got other things going on, and I've got other, stuff to pay attention to. For example, The Punisher when it was on Netflix. And
rip
of
that
course
series.
now, yeah, exactly.
Oh, I did read
Exactly.
something recently that Netflix is selling off all the props and like costumes and stuff. So not
There you
coming
go.
back.
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah.
Which is sad. But yeah, I'm not really like 100% invested in the event. A lot of people are. So like, I start seeing these movie posters. Like, I'm interested in how
Avenge
this
the
is all
Fallen.
Yeah, I'm interested in how this is all going to play out, and I've seen some really funny memes. But the best one, and the thing that I think is the most internet of things, I guess you could say, is like everyone wants Ant-Man to defeat Thanos by climbing up his butt and then going Giant Man. And I've seen some absolutely ridiculous memes about that. It's childish, but I don't care. I laugh at them anyways. It's fucking hilarious.
Right. Can we please have somebody make one with Skolas?
Avenge the Fallen.
I think that would be fantastic.
It should be Varix.
Varix isn't dead.
Well, it should be Varix or Tanix, because Varix says that in one of the strikes in D1. He's like, "Avenge the Fallen."
I wasn't trying to get too lore-y with it. I just think Skolas is the dude,
I tried to find this meme. Didn't find it, but I did find a website called Harambe Was a Pens Fan.
Oh, Lord.
On Twitter,
there's
look at Boost KDV's Twitter. You'll find it.
No. Okay. Question. In a hoe garden, which half is buried? No, you're not growing hoes there. It's not what that is.
I'm going to say it's the blade that's buried, and then when it, sprouts up, it's the handles.
Yeah,
Oh,
bury the hatchet. You know what I mean?
The hatchet in the
Yeah,
hoe garden. Hatchet in the hoe garden.
I've read that book.
Oh, boy.
All right, that's it. I'm calling it. Thank you for coming by the stream. If you're just listening to the podcast, thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to this. I've been your host, Det Ben Malone. You can find me everywhere. Det Ben Malone. or on Origin as Dad Bod Malone, but I'm not really playing Apex right now. Get at me on Ubisoft.
Yeah, you play.
I'm a wind. I'm a wind. I'm a leaf in the wind. Fucking Christ! Somebody take the show over. I'm done.
Scott, where you at?
At Slapshot Scott, the user zeros on Twitter, and I'll be looking out for more Borderlands 3 info.
Hell yeah. I'm Xanafan711 everywhere you can find me. Remember, the band of the week was Kalimasi. Hit us up on the following: patreon.com/BarelyADS, BarelyADS.com, BarelyDestinyShow@gmail.com, at BarelyADS on Twitter, and right here, twitch.tv/BarelyADS.
Shit, did you guys see the squad streaming thing?
What squad? No.
No.
Oh, Twitch has squad streaming now. So when you go to somebody's channel, if there's squad streaming, it'll give you the option to watch the squad stream. And it'll pop up both of them. And I did this on my phone. Pops up both. Top window is whoever you're watching. A smaller window below it is whoever they're squad streaming with. You get to have up to 3 people in your squad. And then if you want to watch somebody else, you just click on their thing and it blows it up to the big one. And you can hear what they're talking about on their end.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yep. Multi-stream the way that it should have been done a long time ago.
Indeed.
All right. See you later,
Yeah.
nerds.
Be the light you want to see in others.
All right, let's do another clap.
All right.
1, 2, 3. There we go. That one was much better.
All right. We're going to raid somebody. So let's see who we got. We're going to raid just some Guardians. They're
Yeah.
finally
going-
alive. While
I'm
we're
going over to them.
Yeah. So go send the love to Fudd and friends, and we'll see y'all next time. Thanks, guys.
Is it twitch.tv/JSGcast?
No, it's twitch.tv/just some Guardians.
Oh, dumb. Boy, I bet you they wish they weren't branded with Destiny, huh?
I was gonna think of a funny word for penis,
Yep,
but I couldn't.
probably.
Penis. I bedazzled my penis.
Bedazzled your one-eyed trouser snake.
Yes. I glitter bombed my disco stick.
Ooh. Barely ADS.
The fuck is a
rating
penis
us right
podcast?
now.